nationalism, and what is its relevance in politics? In this video, I'll give a definition to the concept of nationalism and explain how nationalism can affect the broader world of politics. In this video, nationalism should not be confused with the concept of patriotism, but patriotism will be mentioned. Nationalism has two aspects, positive and negative. Positive in the sense that one's pride for their own country can help create unification within said country. This allows for a multitude of collaboration within a country to take place. Negative in the sense that although one might feel pride towards their own country, they have a very negative connotation surrounding other countries. They believe their country is far better. Throughout the course of history, nationalism has been seen as a political ideology that changes how countries can function. To define nationalism is challenging, but in this video, I will create a concise definition of nationalism. Nationalism, the stuff that wins wars or starts them. Feeling incredibly devoted to your nation can't be that bad, right? But many wars or political issues have been sparked by the not-so-simple ideology known as nationalism. Think of the current developments in the Russian war against Ukraine. Putin believes that Ukraine belongs in Russia as it was once part of the USSR. He believes that Ukraine would thrive under Russia and that he is liberating Ukraine. This is an example of how nationalism can start wars. Putin believes that Russia is much better than Ukraine and that therefore Ukraine should obey Russia's demands and become a country under them. Also think about the Chinese war against Taiwan. China, once again, wants Taiwan to be back inside of the Chinese Federation. This is also an example of how China believes that Taiwan belongs under China. For a definition of nationalism, essentially, nationalism is an ideology that places a strong emphasis on loyalty, devotion, or allegiance to a nation, and it maintains these commitments so that they take precedence over those of other groups. This definition pretty much sums up what nationalism is, but with everything, there are limitations. My definition explains what nationalism is, but I made a more negative definition. As I made a very negative implication towards nationalism, it's ironic because nationalism can be positive in the sense that people will act in their country's best interest. An example of this could be the attack on Pearl Harbor during the World War. Since the US was attacked, the only reason they joined the war was to protect their pride as a country. They unified against a common enemy. Them joining the war was one of the main factors that went into the victory of the Allies. This shows that with everything, there can be limitations to definitions. For example, I made a very negative definition to nationalism, but there's positive aspects. If I made a very positive definition to nationalism, there'd be more negative aspects. I hope you now have a broader understanding of what nationalism is and how it relates to current political issues. Thank you for listening.